Hi, welcome back to Ride Rescue. If you're new to the channel, this is my wrecked Ram that I bought about a year ago. Recently I did a video talking about the steering in this truck and all the noise that it makes. It should start moaning about now. I'm going 34, 35 miles an hour. And how this 5th generation truck is experiencing a lot of that. Any of the owners that are watching would know what I'm talking about. They moan when you turn to the right, and a little times when you turn to the left. And Ram didn't have a fix for it, not for a long time. In my last video I posted, there is a service bulletin now that supposedly fixes that. My truck was just before the warranty was going to run out, so I actually set my truck aside because I wanted it to be covered under warranty. So when I did finally get it into the service department and I had a copy of the service bulletin, they told me it wasn't covered under warranty. Here I was setting the truck aside so that it didn't go over 36,000 miles. Well, they pulled up the VIN number, showed it was a salvage, so they said, well, it avoids the warranty. Went ahead and had them fix it. I was worried about the cost of what this was going to fix. They pulled up the history of the truck. There was some software updates that needed to be done. There's a winter floor mat that goes on the driver's side that was recalled. So I said, all right, go ahead and take care of all that. The other stuff was covered, the safety recall software. Well, come to find out, the problems with the steering on this is software. So why it was out of warranty, I don't know. Because they went ahead and updated all the rest of the software. Go figure. Anyway, I got it done. To my surprise, left the dealership, no noise. Steering is fixed. So I've been waiting to do an update to put miles on it. And as you can see, I put some harsh miles on this. I put 1,000 miles on it since I had this done. We have a family cabin that's up in the mountains, way up there in the snow, about 100 miles from here. The dirt road has now turned into a mud road. Horrible, horrible road driving conditions. I had to put it in 4-wheel drive to get up there so I could winterize the cabin. I had a good mix of driving on the truck. A nice blend of freeway driving, town driving, and abusive mud driving. It hasn't come back. So the steering is great. The service bulletin works. In case any of you have a truck like this and they have that noise and you're worried about the cost, to my surprise it was only $135. So very pleased to find out that out of warranty they can fix it and it's only 135 bucks. I don't have to replace a bunch of parts. I mean, so if you've got one of these and you don't take it to the dealer, don't let them start replacing parts. You don't need to replace the rack and pinion. You don't need to change the differential fluid. There's nothing in the steering components. There's no hardware. It's all software. It has something to do with lane assist and cruise control. I don't know. But I'm very happy that it's finally fixed. So, I also wanted to, now that it's muddy, I wanted to give you an update on why I put the mud flaps on there and how well they do, as well as I did a full fender liner on the bed, on the back, and I love how it handles the mud. One of the things you might notice, since this is the sport version of the truck, this came with the 22-inch wheels. I love the look of the 22-inch wheels on this truck. With the blacked out version, the sport truck, it's just a really attractive wheel. but I absolutely hated them. I did not like that wheel. The skinny little sidewall right here on the 22s was so rough on the dirt road. My original plan with the truck was the sport look, the sport version. I wanted to lower it a little bit. I know it's kind of goofy, but I did plan on lowering it and going with more of a sport tire. But I've been using this truck so much at the family cabin and the dirt road and the mud road and hauling wood. You can see here in the back a lot of wood chips. So the sport truck is turned into the work truck. And because of the mud conditions, I ended up putting on these mud flaps. And the mud flaps really do a good job. Plus it is protected from a lot of the rock chips. You can see some of the mud that is piled up here. And yeah, this has ended up with a lot of rock chips along here. Could have put some kind of a coating on it to protect it. But like I say, this has turned into my work truck. This is the fender well that I added, the plastic fender wells. You can go back and watch that video. This was all open in here, and mud and dust and dirt would get all up into this fender well, and I was really worried about all of that settling up on top of the metal fender well here and rotting out these rear fenders. Well, when I had to redo this fender and put a new skin on it, it had a film of rust on the inside of the fender right here. So it wasn't sealed very well, and that was just going to make matters even worse. So you can see these, not only do they protect from getting the dirt and dust and mud all up inside the fender well, I mean, you could get it all over the back of the taillight, the back of the bumper. It also quiets the truck down. I don't hear all the rocks rattling around and the tires flip up. Speaking of tires, when I took the sport tires off for the winter and I put these on, I bought these off of a local classified ad. They're your typical Ram wheel. It's an 18-inch wheel. These tires are so much nicer on that dirt road. It's so much smoother having that wide sidewall. So I'm going to keep them. I'll paint them black, or maybe I'll get a custom wheel, but I'm going to stay with an 18-inch wheel. I'm just much more happy with it. Speaking of happy, man, do I love this truck. When I bought it, like I say, as a sport truck for around town, I was planning on making it really, really nice. It had 20,000 miles on it when I bought it as a total wreck. Well, the beauty of having a truck like this with a salvage title is I can somewhat, I guess you could say, abuse it. I'm pretty tough on it, and I don't feel so bad. If I would have paid $70,000 for the truck, like the sticker price was, by the time you got tax and license and out the door, I would really feel bad about getting rock chips and scratches and putting a load of wood in the back. Well, I'm into this truck just barely over $30,000. So at 30, to buy a beater truck, you pretty much have to spend 30. So I've got one heck of a truck for $30,000. Now that the family cabin is winterized and I'm not going to be going up there, again, probably for about 6 months, I'm finally going to get back to my Jeepster project. I've got a few other projects that I've got to get out of the way. I can't even get into the shop. I've got so much stuff in there. So thank you for watching this episode of Ride Rescue. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Leave me a comment. Love hearing from you. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye for now.